The Texas Chain Saw Massacre is set to leave Xbox Game Pass very soon. Understandably, a lot of people are very concerned that this could mean doomsday for the game because a large portion of the player base comes from Game Pass, and by removing it, the matchmaking times will be irreparably damaged, leading to the death of the game. Personally, I don't see that happening, and although there are definitely negatives to TCM leaving Game Pass, there's also some positives to it as well that are going mostly unmentioned. For starters, as some of you may know, I have sources within the hacking community that give me a lot of inside information, and what I can tell you is the primary tool cheaters use to access TCM for free is Xbox Game Pass for PC. The hacker groups have entire tutorials on their websites for how to do this. Basically, cheaters get banned, quickly make a new account on Game Pass for free or very cheap, and then immediately re-access the game without actually needing to buy it. Now, with its removal from Game Pass, that's a considerable hurdle they're going to have to take into account going forward, and with games like DBD still being available on Game Pass, it's much more likely that most of them will move to DBD. Another benefit of TCM leaving Game Pass is less glue sniffers and less 8-year-olds, right?
Yeah, fuck this thing.
The thing is that when somebody buys a game, they usually will have some level of understanding what they're buying or who they're buying it for. When a game is on Game Pass, it is just out in the open for any Elmer's enthusiasts or Roblox babies to download and get on, regardless if they have any clue what it actually is. So bigger player base doesn't necessarily always correlate to being a good thing. The quality of the player base matters much more, and all these glue sniffers that are constantly ruining the experience will definitely not be missed. Let's move on to why does this make sense from a business perspective for Gun. The Texas Chain Saw Massacre launched on Game Pass. Now, Microsoft surely paid a lot for that to happen, and it was massively beneficial for the game's survival. It also worked out great. It became one of the most played games on Game Pass for months, even earning a reward. However, at the turn of the year, it dropped off significantly, in large part due to the lack of new content and probably to some degree Danny. Since then, it hasn't even made the top 40 most played Game Pass games in 2024 once. So it's not really this cataclysmic event to remove it. It definitely sucks for anyone who has Game Pass and enjoys the game, but either can't afford to buy it at full price or simply is unwilling to buy it at full price, which is totally understandable. But nonetheless, it actually does make sense for Gun not to renew the Game Pass contract right now. Most likely, and this is pure speculation on my part, so keep that in mind, I would assume the only reason Gun would not take the free extra revenue from Game Pass and all the Game Pass players that purchase DLC without actually owning the game is because they probably struck a deal to bring TCM to PlayStation Plus along with some free DLC or something like that. Now, here's all the reasons that makes sense. TCM has been on Game Pass for a year. 2 months ago, it was on sale on Xbox for pretty cheap, like $15 or something close to that. And anyone who was willing to buy it on Xbox while it was still in Game Pass would have done it then, right? So now Gun wants to remove it from Game Pass, which will force Xbox players who enjoy the game to buy it permanently. Meanwhile, on PlayStation right now, you could buy TCM for $10 on sale. So what I'm assuming is Gun wants to clean up any possible buyers they can get for TCM before it actually goes on PlayStation Plus. They're basically maximizing the value for themselves. It's like, all right, everyone who was willing to purchase the game either bought it now with this sale, or they're just never going to buy it, right? So the next logical move is to put it on PlayStation Plus, probably right around the time the next big DLC drops, to get as many PlayStation players to try out the game as possible and hopefully buy some DLC as well. Now, obviously, if this turns out to be true, they're not going to announce this while the game is still on sale for $10 on PlayStation because they don't want to de-incentivize people from purchasing it right now. Then a bit down the road, Xbox will surely have a really big sale on the game as well, and then it will probably find its way back to Game Pass in another year or so, and at that point, it will probably stay free across both PlayStation Plus and Xbox Game Pass like DBD does right now. So That's why, from a business perspective, it does make sense if you were trying to maximize profits. And to be clear, this is Gun's decision to remove it from Game Pass and not Microsoft. Surely the first year contract was pretty juicy, and now that the game has fallen off so significantly, the new contract would be worth much less. So they're way better off getting the game in a better state and then renegotiating that contract at that point. Quick side note though, while TCM is still in Game Pass, it has a 20% discount for Game Pass members that want to buy it. So if you're going to cave and buy it anyway as soon as it gets removed from Game Pass, you should probably take advantage of the discount and just buy it now before it leaves Game Pass. Now, when it comes to the actual player base size and the question of if there's going to be enough players to keep the game going forward, in my opinion, the answer is easily yes. Even without crossplay, I can get on Friday the 13th on Xbox right now and still quickly find a match for the game that isn't even sold on the platform anymore. There is just a certain level of quality and uniqueness to these games that do speak more loudly than their terrible balance decisions, right? People love these games. They were made with insane levels of passion, and that doesn't just go away because an 8-year-old Andy sniffing glue in the basement screaming obscenities in game chat is suddenly no longer able to play the game for free, right? Now, Gun hopefully has a big announcement about the next premium DLC drop coming soon. Hey there, Choi from the future here. As I was editing this, in typical fashion, the devs decided to troll me and release a roadmap for their upcoming DLC and sort of their battle pass system that they're coming out with. I'll talk about this more in a future video because I haven't quite fully developed my thoughts on it, but for context, I thought I'd mention it real quick to avoid any confusion. Alright, now back to the original video. You'll see the numbers will pop off in a big way again when that happens, especially if it's licensed content. People really want TCM to succeed, and they're just waiting for the game to get to that point so that they can fully invest in it. So as long as the new DLC doesn't break the game and hopefully enhances the overall gameplay experience in some way, I see a very lengthy future for TCM. I really do. The comeback for TCM is just waiting on the horizon, and with a few smart choices and some good DLC, we can get there. But with that, let me know if you're going to be purchasing the Texas Chain Saw Massacre after it's removed from Game Pass. If you are a PlayStation player, let me know if the current $10 deal is enough for you to purchase it right now. Also, like the video only if you enjoyed it. Otherwise, stream snipe me and teabag me on stream to show me what for. And as always, thanks for watching and have a good one.